I was in Montreal till the last April of this month. So then I moved to
Right.
France.
Okay. Good to hear that. So you don't like Canada?
No, it's a project. So I was there for 2 years in Montreal. Then I moved to France.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So we'll not waste our time. So I'll go with the weekly update. I think you familiar with the S4 HANA. Okay. So if you talk about the S4 HANA, so S4 HANA and GTS, there are two different systems. GTS is a standalone system like S4 HANA. When SAP introduced S4 HANA, they completely abolish or completely uh, remove the international trade, which is export and import. So S4 HANA normally supports only for a domestic sales. If you see the export order or import orders in S4 HANA, those means it's still there, but you cannot submit to authorities, or you don't have a standard template for international trade. So that's why you have to have global trade services. So going forward, everyone has to implement global trade services. Is that clear? If you have any
But
doubts, you can please ask me.
but that was the previous terminology, right? When we had the ECC, we had two separate boxes in GTS and ECC, like the normal thing, and then we
Okay.
used to interact with RFC and all those things. But like based on like I am working on 2019 version of S4HANA currently,
Mhm.
so we do not have separate instance of GTS. So it's like looks like it is single
Okay.
instance.
Okay. I think it is not a single instance. SAP GTS is a still standalone system, and till 2027, SAP roadmap says that SAP GTS will be not included in SAP HANA. SAP is the latest. SAP GTS is the latest version is SAP E4H. Okay, the
Exactly.
difference between
Mhm.
the previous version and this version is SAP S4 GTS, which is backend system is either in Oracle or SQL. Now it is on HANA. That is the only difference, and the functionality is same. Main difference of SAP GTS and S4 systems: SAP S4 system is not licensed to communicate with the custom authorities. That means if you are filing customs with the custom authorities, SAP S4 HANA is not licensed, but GTS is a licensed. That means you can directly communicate with the custom authorities via a C burger. So you can file the customs with the custom your export import declaration with the custom authorities, and this is approved by the custom. So it is very helpful for organizations to implement import and export processes.
So,
So Ahmed, what is C-Burger?
Beg your pardon, Sachin?
I heard a term C-Burger. So what is it?
Okay. If you heard about the XIPI is a middleware, right? Similarly, SAP GTS have his own product. It is a C burger, and custom authorities approved to communicate with the SAP GTS with the middleware as a C burger, not XIPI, not any other middleware. Okay. This is also very much a standard of a SAP tool. Okay. Down the line, you will understand, but okay. The first time you are hearing C burger is a
Basically,
thing.
guys, so when we are interacting with external systems, so we will send some files and we will receive some files. In order to communicate with those external authorities, the interface which will be through which we will be communicating, that is the C burger thing. This is what Ahmad is saying. Instead of going redirecting the traffic.
Okay, so we'll go to
and
next one. Okay,
one.
yes, please go ahead.
So you said GTS E4H, and so this is what we are going to be get training. That will be on E4H, right?
Yes, you are right.
And what is the last version? It is like GTS 11, right?
Yes, right.
So the only difference you said the database. In GTS 11 it is Oracle, but in
Okay.
E4H it is SAP.
I'm not sure about the Oracle or SQL. There are several databases. E4H is on HANA, but it is not only a difference. Functionality wise, it is not a difference, but technical wise, there are a lot of difference. So E4H, most of the time, it runs on Fury apps. It is not like area menu driven or T code driven.
Okay, okay. I got you. Okay, thank you.
So that means I'm at the /n/SAP SLL menu underscore legal R3,
It is
or say,
completely
let's say,
abolished.
so abolished, and we will be getting an
Okay.
app,
Okay.
right?
There are two differences. R3 is in S4HANA. Okay.
Correct, correct. So I
Without
used
R3, it
R3,
is.
but without R3 will be the up till
Yep.
legal, it will be GTS. So that will be completely going obsolete, and then we will be getting a Fury app instead of that, right?
Yes, right. You are right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll quickly go through with the what are the SAP GTS is offering. Okay. And what most of the projects or what most of clients looking at a GTS. Okay. So let me open my uh, Word document.
So what E4H is offering, that will be the separate thing, but what we will be covering as part of this training. So like you will be going, I assume we will be covering
Yes,
compliance, customs, and
yes, yes.
risk and
Yeah, I will explain all these things.
okay.
Not an issue. Okay.
Sorry, Ahmed, I talk too much. We are consulting world, right? So
That's fine. That's
but yeah, but
I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once you guys able to see my screen.
Not yet.
Let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so I'll come back to this one later. Okay, this is what we offering and what SAP S4 E4H is offering. We'll go to first one. Okay. Uh, so all are very much familiar with the SAP SD and processes. I'll not go in detail, but I will explain you what exactly SAP GTS is offering. If you have someone like any questions, please raise. I will try to address it right away. Otherwise, we'll park those questions and I will try to address it in next sessions. Okay. SAP GTS are basically divided into 4 modules. Okay, first is compliance one. Compliance management. Okay. Second one is customs management. Third one is risk management. But don't go with a word like a risk management. It is not that kind of a risk. Okay. Last one is ECR. Okay. Electronic compliance processing. Okay. What SAP GTS is offering compliance management? In international trade, when you do the international trade, there are 3 things are involved, or 3 elements are involved. Okay. That is, first element is your product. In the international trade, the first thing is involved is your product. Second element is persons. Third element is places. Okay. First, I will explain you in my terminology. Then we will go into what is SAP terminology of this. The first one is product. So when you buy or sell a good, if you are purchasing, if you are selling or purchasing any of a material or any of a involvement, these three things are involved. Either it is services or physically purchase, everything. There are three processes are. So in export and import processes are what we call in domestic sales also. These are the three main important elements. So in GTS, when you create a sales order in S4HANA under the sales and distribution, the first thing is in GTS, it will validate whether this product is having a valid license or not. Because, okay, because when you do import or export, you have to have license. Okay, so this will be validated in GTS whether you have a valid license or not. The second thing is persons. That means you are doing a business with international trade. For example, like you are in USA and you are doing a business with the Indian customer. You don't know how that customer is, whether this customer is bankrupt or whether this customer is blocked by the Indian government authorities, or might be a chances of this customer might be blocked by the UN. So you don't know. So my GTS system will validate you are doing a business with the right people. Okay. So screening, we called it as a screening. Last one is places. For example, like there are some places which is you are not supposed to do the business. For example, like if you are doing a business from India, we'll go with the US example only. US will not allow to do the business with Iran, Iraq, Syria, Cuba, North Korea, and some of the central USA countries, which are not allowed to do any kind of a businesses. That means your system has the capability to screen all those things. Okay, let me come to GTS terminology. So first one is, if I talk about the people, that is called SPL screening. SPL screening means you have a business partners in your sales order, sold to, ship to, bill to. These are a minimum. I'm going with a payer. Okay, all these business partners will be screened in GTS. If the business partners are find these are good partners, these are the right people, then GTS will allow to do the business. Otherwise, GTS will block the sales order or delivery in sales order, purchase order or delivery in GTS. It says that the business partner associated with these sales orders are blocked. That is one kind of a compliance management, which comes under compliance, is a screening. Second one is product. It is in GTS, it is called I'll put this 2 as a 2 in not okay, I'll put the B only. It is called license determination nation or legal control. Legal control is a GTS word, but for normally it is a license determination. So all the products should have a license, even though there are some of the products which are license is not required, but still we create as a no license required as a license, and we will assign to that product. The last one is embargo. So every country have a list of the countries they don't do the business with the specified list of the countries. Okay, so for example, like if you are doing a business, then Pakistan will be blocked. If you are going with the USA, we have about 7 or 8 countries which are blocked, like Russia, I told you, right? Russia, North Korea, Iran, Iraq,
That
these
will be the
countries are
best example. Russia,
yeah,
US won't
yeah.
allow trade to Russia, but India
Mm.
is freely trading with Russia.
India, Pakistanis are free trade. So these, uh, for a simplification, I put it as a three piece. So in future, you can understand what are three piece: places, persons, and product.
Products.
These three are screened in GTS. The compliance management main goal of the compliance management is to verify your documents, and this is the easiest part of a GTS. This is not required any GTS knowledge. Okay, I mean to say customs knowledge. This is for a screening purpose. All your documents will be screened in GTS. For a normally, there are a lot of projects only implement a G compliance because they wanted to screen. That's it. They don't want to do any business with the wrong people, because if if any company finds dealing with the wrong people, that means there might be a chances that company will be sorry, there might be a chances the local government will impose lot of sanctions on that company. They will not allow to do the import or export, or they will local authorities might be fine on those companies. Okay, this is about compliance process. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to answer it. If you are not able to understand also, please let me know. I'll try to explain in different way of like is the with the different examples.
But licensing is not restricted to the product sometimes. So let's say I am selling a chemical, a restricted use chemical.
Mhm.
So in that case, a customer also needs a license to buy that kind of product,
Okay, so
right?
y-
So license can be
okay,
at a different
I
level.
will
It can be
yeah.
at a product, it can be at a vendor level who is selling, it can be at a customer who is buying, and it can be at a manufacturer level as well, whether they do have the manufacturing license to manufacture
Okay,
such kind of
I understand.
chemical.
Okay, I understand. So license, okay, there is a license types. So there are six license types are available. One is a product license and product and individual license, that is either ship to party, B to party. Based on that, there are document license. Based on the document, you can submit, you can request for a license with the custom authorities, and quality based license, value based license. There are different types of licenses, but ultimately the
And
product is
service
one.
based license, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like if there is a person, so like let's say anybody can't do, there is a very specific chemical which needs a very precaution while handling, right? So every person or like people like us, we can't go and handle that chemical. So there are certified professionals who will be handling those chemicals, right?
Yeah, that
So
is
they call
see,
it
that
like
is the
applicator
scenarios.
or something.
Yeah, I agree. Those are scenarios are different, but ultimately license determination. Okay, it works on a license determination. The license determination based on a certain conditions and a certain what we call fields mapping.
But
Okay,
in
it
SAP GTS standard, it is possible to configure, right? So that is where I'm
yes,
going. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
whatever
it is possible
scenario I'm
because
discussing,
yes,
you know,
and not only chemical. So SAP GTS will have arms and ammunition licenses also possible.
mhm.
Okay, is there any other doubts or any questions?
Yeah, Ahmed, on
Mhm,
the SPL screening, you
mhm.
said it is for the customer, right?
Not only
Business
customers. Uh,
people.
See, there are okay, the customers, vendors, banks, contact person, and your employees. All the five will be screened in GTS. If and it is a choice, either you can select a customer, vendor, only banks, or this.
Oh, okay.
So there are five types of partners can be screened in GTS. I will, when we go into configuration, I will show you that part.
Okay, okay. Only one question related to
Mhm,
that.
please.
If in S4 HANA, for example,
Mm,
if there are say sold to party, right?
mm,
Sold to party number start say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
mhm,
The
mm.
same number has to be there in the GTS system with the same name of that sold to party.
Okay, GTS. Okay, that is a two different activities we are talking about. One is a
Okay,
SPL screening. Second one is a BP. You
okay,
created a BP in S4 HANA,
okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
When it transfer to GTS, it will have their own BP number.
Oh, that's
GTS
what I want to
own
know.
own
That
BP number, and
okay,
but address is same.
okay, okay,
Normally in SPL
General
screening,
data will remain the same, right?
okay, the screening process will always at your address level. For
okay.
example, there are okay, there are two types of a screening. One is master data screening. Second one is a document partner address screening. Okay,
Okay.
CREEN. Okay, what happened is, for example, you are creating one sales order. At the time of a sales order, saving the sales order, before saving your sales order, you modified your you can modify your address, right? In sales order level also, sold to party or shipped to party, country you can go and change, address you can go and change. If you change any address, that time also it will go and trigger. For example, like you have BP of a ship to party.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, SP. While creating a sales order, SO, what you did is the 1001, currently his name is XYZ, but while creating a sales order, you modified as a some ABCD. Sorry, my friend's laptop, there is some difficulty. CD.
Okay.
Okay, I'm extremely sorry. ABCD, you modified as a ABCD. So what we'll do is the document address will go screening. It is not only master data, it will also screen your document address.
Okay.
If a document address is found in a SPL box or screening, while screening it is found with the SPL matching, then it will
Mm-hmm.
be blocked.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I will also explain what is the SPL algorithm, how SPL works. So down the line will also go. It is very high level. So the SPL screening this. Okay,
Okay.
the customs management. Currently, SAP GTS is licensed with 27 countries to direct filing. Most of the European countries and US, Canada, not Canada, US and Australia. Uh, in Asia, we have only South Korea. I believe Singapore is not at licensed direct filing, but we can do the broker filing with us. Okay, these are 27 countries, but I will go what are the modules covered in export management, customs management, export process, import process, special customs, special customs. Then we have excise management. So these processes are covered. This is very niche area, I can say. Most of the GTS, right? People also not very much familiar. So in this one, we have I don't know whether you guys are familiar with this or not. We called as a bonded warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Bonded warehouse. In bonded warehouse, we have two parts. One is a bonded warehouse. We have second one is a IPR, OPR. Okay, and we also have a okay. I don't. It is not a special process, but it is a transit processes, and finally we have a NCTS. Okay, so we have so many business processes based, but these are country specific business processes are there. Okay, FTZ. Okay, there are special custom processes. These are bonded warehouse, IPR, OPR, and these are the excise management. It belongs to only European Union. If you are selling or buying goods like alcohol or petrol, this kind of thing, then excise duty is applicable within the European Union also. Okay, export processes. When you create, okay, we'll go with this. Okay, you created a sales order, it went to GTS, and it is successful. Then you create a delivery, it goes to GTS, and the screening is both the compliance management is successful at the both the places. Then you create a pro forma invoice. Okay, so there are two types of invoices, right? Normally, pro forma invoice will communicate with the custom authorities because we can't have a commercial invoice. The commercial invoice, once you create a commercial invoice, that means your customer has a liable to pay the specific amount. So that's why before creating a EF2 commercial invoice, we will communicate with the customs authorities with the pro forma invoice. Once it is approved, then you will going to create a F2 invoice. But it differs from business processes, company to company. Normally, we'll create a pro forma invoice. That is for a standard. Okay. Once the pro forma invoice is got created, within it the same time, it creates same time it creates export declaration in GTS. Within some minutes or within some seconds, the export declaration will communicate with the custom authorities, and you will also get the response from the custom authorities within some minutes or within some seconds. You will also get confirmation custom authorities it is approved or rejected. The previously, this process will take more than 1 or 2 days of a time. If you are submitting still, if you are submitting your export declaration with a vendor, it takes approximately 2 to 3 hours, or might be sometimes it goes beyond 2 to 3 days also. But if you have a GTS in place, that means the moment you create a pro forma invoice, within 1 or 2 minutes, you'll come to know that this is your export declaration is approved or not. If it is approved, SAP GTS have a standard template where you can print all the export relevant documents, and or else you can also submit all the export relevant documents to the custom authorities as well as your logistic vendor at the same time. I mean to say within 1 or 2 minutes, everything will be, the process will be finished. It is
Okay.
a very quick. Yes, please go ahead.
So if the pro forma invoice is created with reference to the delivery document, right? I want to take an example. If say shipment is going from say Mumbai to Europe, say
Okay.
London, okay. So the moment as soon as the pro forma invoice created in India, communication will be sent to Europe, like London's authorities for the clearance, and then they will send it back.
No,
Like that.
because you are exporting from India. It first communicate with the Indian custom authorities.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
that
okay.
part, right? The clearance in London, that is part of your customer. It is not our custom process.
Okay, it's not our responsibility. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, okay.
They will
Yeah,
create if they have a system, right? They will create a purchase order, and they will create a import custom declaration, and that import custom declaration will submit it to their custom authorities.
I got it. Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah.
this is how it communicated. In import process, okay, we have a PO followed by the IBD. Here, with reference to IBD, there is no automation with reference to IBD, we will create import custom declaration cusdec in GTS, and this will be communicated with the custom authorities, and immediately it is also like within some fraction some within some seconds or 1 or 2 minutes you'll get the response, and you will furnish all the associated documents with the custom authority. For example, like if you are doing import to Dubai, for US to Dubai, so there is a for any kind of a product, if you sell in Dubai or Middle East, there is halal certificate is required. So it will print very quickly, and we have standard templates also. It will send to custom authorities, means to your vendor or your logistic logistic uh, logistic vendor, it logistic broker. It sends very quickly those forms. It is not only, I'm just giving an example, but when it comes to India, it is not required. At the same time, if you are importing anything to New Zealand or Australia, there are different forms are required, like a wood packing form, or because if you are if you are doing import or export, so they will also see which form of packing you are doing, and this packing will have any kind of a bacteria or not. So they will check New Zealand and Australia. They will have a packing specific certificate also. So if you are sending your package is a cotton package or like some wood packages, so they will also verify whether those packages are bacteria free or not. These kind of a standard templates available in the GTS, and it will trigger automatically. So I mean to say that all the documents which required for import export processes, it is already available in GTS. We must use the same forms or the same documents. If there is any changes, then SAP is responsible to update, because this is a licensed product to communicate with the custom authorities. So if there is any changes, SAP is responsible to update. You got my point, or
Yeah, so there is no, we cannot do any customization to the form in GTS.
yes, we can do. We can
Oh,
do.
we can. Okay.
Still we can do, but if there is any changes, right, apart from that, then we need to, as I said, see there while communicating with the custom authorities, like if you are communicating with the custom authorities, there is a between C burger, I told you, right? Okay, so for example, like your customer is having a special name characters, like for example, like Ahmad that Montreal is my name. So the special characters will allowed in European custom authorities. When it goes to US, the special characters are not allowed. So you can do the modification, local modification at IDOC level. Still, you can do the local modification at your IDOC or forms level. But ultimately, the owner of the form is modification is SAP. Yeah, is it under? Is it okay, or still you need any clarification?
So basically,
Mhm.
no, it's little bit going very high level. It looks like,
Mhm.
but the thing is, you are trying to convey is there are specific formats provided by standard SAP, as
Mhm.
it is a licensed product, and those forms are developed in sync with what the custom authority needs.
Mhm.
So in any case, so like let's say Europe or say USA make changes in their customs declaration formats, it is SAP's responsibility to modify those forms from their end, so that as a standard we will get it right. This is one
Yes,
point,
right.
like correct. And the second thing is you are also trying to convey is like, even though these are standard forms or formats, we are able to modify it because we are integrating with the respective custom authorities. And so let's say I want to send one additional field as a form of like that might be only needed for
Yep.
Indian authorities. So I will be still able to modify that
Yep.
form
You are
because it
right.
is needed. Yeah, okay.
Okay. The special customs. Okay. I'll not go very much detail. You can cover bonded warehouse. So the bonded warehouse and IPR,
No, no,
OPR,
no,
which
no.
is
Like basically, as a part of this training, you will become
no, no.
uh,
What SAP GTS is offering? So I'll cover this one. So bonded
but
warehouse,
as a part of
IPR,
this
OPR.
training, we will be covering IPR, OPR, bonded
No, no.
warehouse, and
I'm not
FTZs
covering this.
and transit.
No, no.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This is special customs and excise management and risk management. We have three different modules in risk management. One is preference processing. That is PREFERENC, preference processing. Letter of credit and restitution. So I will give you very high level preference. What is meaning of a preference processing? To avoid import duties. Okay, to pay avoid or there is a agreement between some of the countries. If there is agreement is available, so you no need to pay any import duties. You can import those products from the your agreement countries. For a simple example, like NAFTA, North America, which is USA, Mexico, and Canada. There are under comes under NAFTA. It is
Canada.
known as uh, USMCA. Okay, previously it is called as a NAFTA. In this agreement, so you can import the product in this with if you import the product, if you are sitting in if your business located in US, if you are import the product from Canada or Mexico, no need to pay the duties. At the same time, if you are importing product from India or China, then you need to pay the heavy import duties. It is between the because of they have agreement between these countries. The letter of credit, it is nothing but the bank will be provided you. There is a approval. Sorry, there is a credit letter from the bankers. So this will be uploaded. This will be configured in GTS. So your customer is not responsible for if he is not paying or if his amount, right. We can go and see whether we have a
Basically, no. I am a letter of credit is something like if I am dealing with you. This is first time I am interacting with you. I am a manufacturer and you are a buyer. So you are placing an like $1 million order with me, but I don't know about you. So like whether you are going to pay me because you are
it's
sitting
a
somewhere
bank
else. I am
guarantee.
sitting
Yes, right. It is a bank
yes. So
guarantee. One
then
kind
in
of a
that
bank
case,
guarantee.
I am requesting you. No, I don't trust you. You give me some assurity or say guarantee, and then you request your bank a letter, and that letter is your this letter of credit. And in that case, I trust because this is a well-known bank,
Yeah.
let's say SBI or whatever, and then I trust. Okay, if the bank is giving me that assurance, yes, we will pay on behalf of Ahmed, and bank will deal with you. It's not my job. I will be directly getting my payments from that bank.
Yeah, it is ultimately it's a one kind of a bank guarantee, and a restitution is also it is applicable for within Europe. Okay, if you are buying or purchasing agriculture product, the import duties will be laid off, not export duties, only import duties. The ECR means electronic compliance process. This is also only for European Union. So currently in the European Union, there are 27 countries. Okay, previously it is 28. Great Britain is no more part of the European Union. Within this European Union, if any sales or purchases are happened, it is not treated as an import or export. It is treated as a domestic sales only. For example, like a Netherlands to Germany, Germany to Czech Republic, or Germany to uh, vertical France. Okay, these are not treated as a import or export. This is treated as a domestic sales. So ECR process is, there are two different processes in under the ECR. One is a intrastat, second one is a extrastat. Extrastat. Okay, these two are also available in S4. So normally we will ask them to implement this in intra and extrastat in S4, not in GTS, because unnecessarily transferring the data from S4 to GTS. So we can implement at S4 level only. This is intrastat and extrastat. I hope most of the SD consultant are familiar with these words if you are working in any of our European projects.
Yeah, basically reporting. It's needed for
Yeah,
reporting. I I
yes, right.
I have worked with one of like German client.
So every month end, you'll extract the report and you will submit to custom authorities by their own format. And SAP GTS or S4 will support to upload, download in their format and upload in their site.
Mhm.
Okay, so these are
So
the things we are.
can we go back? So for the preference processing, you mentioned NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. But what exactly happens under that? So like,
If you procure any product under this from, if the if they manufacture this product in the agreemented countries, you no need to
mhm.
pay any duties. You can import freely in your organization.
But yeah, but so let's say I'm manufacturing shoes in USA. My
Mm,
sole of the shoes is coming from Mexico.
mm.
Leather of the shoes is coming from Canada, and but the rest stitching and the lace is from US, right? So in this way,
See, that
whatever
is
leather I am
different. So
importing,
BOM, the components. Okay, BOM components is one of the preference, right? The components comes from different places. It is all depends on the rules of origin. Okay, if my rules of, if I say that you have a 10 components and 3 components are within the region and 7 components are not within the region, but still your rules of origin file, rules of origin will decide whether it is applicable or not. It is based on your net value of the overall price and also quantity also. Means for
so in
example, like
what
to
kind of
manufacture,
document we will like how we manage this thing. So number of
you
sales
will come to know
transactions
when you do
or
the configuration, right? And you
uh
will also come to know when you, what is the HS code and what rules of origin it says. Okay, based on the HS codes and rules of origin and based on your components and price, there are based on this your preference will rec, and there are a preference module also. Under the preference determination, there are three types of determination. One is a transactional value, one is a tariff shift value, one is a transaction and tariff shift, and there is one more. Okay, there are three different values. So based on that, it will determine whether this product is uh, what we call liable to import duties or not.
so basically you meant to say the HTS, so harmonized tariff
Uh,
codes we do, which we
Not only
apply.
basically, no, it is not. I doesn't mean that it's only a basic HTS codes. It completely on BOM components. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. If you are manufacturing a biscuit, okay,
Mhm.
biscuit, and there are three ingredients are required: maida, okay, maida,
Sugar.
sugar, milk, okay,
Mhm.
and water. Okay, so maida is your 50%, sugar is your 5%, milk is also 5%, and water is your rest of the things 40%. Okay,
Mhm.
so my will verify what is the origin of a maida. If it is a Mexico, sugar is a China, milk is from Canada. Okay, TN, Canada, CA, okay, and water is from USA. In this case, for a NAFTA, is approximately 95% within the NAFTA origin. The only sugar comes from China. So,
China.
but yes, but if my rules of origin says it should be 100%, then you have to pay the duties. Sometimes rules of origin says if even it is a 30% also, uh, it is duties will be more than 80% will be laid off. No need to pay. So it is
No.
basically on your rules of origin.
Got it.
Okay. So we will see when we do the configuration, how does it look like and what is the rules of origin, what are the HS codes and commodity, what we call the HS duty rates. Okay. On this everything, there are multiple factors which affect. But this configuration is also not too difficult. It is very easy. So I'll come back to this one. So compliance management is a simple and straightforward. Anyone can do, anyone can support, even you can handle it implementation project also. Simple, it is very simple and very straightforward. But customs management, you should have some knowledge on the local custom processes. If you don't have a knowledge, then you'll be sitting with your business counterpart, and you need to discuss what are the custom authorities requirement. Accordingly, you need to configure. Already existing configuration is there, you need to activate those configuration, or you may need to define new configuration to submit to custom authorities. These two special customs, I'll not touch the special customs and excise management because these concepts are completely different. And preference processing, I explained you what is the concept. Okay, these things. But the toughest part is in overall SAP GTS is a risk management and not much bit export processes. Okay, and SAP GTS supports not only with the direct communication with the custom authorities, you can also submit with the broker. Okay, in this part of our syllabus, I'm going to explain. Okay, we have a basic settings. I'll cover the basic settings and everything because we all are very much familiar with the SAP GTS. So that's why I didn't explain the organization structure and other parts, master data. So I'll directly jump into GTS part. Okay. In I'll we have a embargo. Legal control is nothing but your license determination. I'll explain almost what is the license type and everything. So I will also explain the SPL processes. Uh, I don't know why it is not mentioned. So first, as a part of okay, as a part of my trainings, I'll cover compliance management, customs management, export and import processes. If time allows, I will also cover the preference processing. Okay, the final thing is SAP GTS can interact with any system, not only S4. It can interact JD Edwards or anything. Normally, if you have a SAP GTS or S4 as your feeder system, then we can SAP GTS will interact with the S4 for sales orders and deliveries. SAP GTS also interacts with the TM module for their what we call uh,
Freight processing,
freight units and freight orders. Okay,
Mhm.
SAP is also interact with the EWM for handling units. Okay, these three things are presently from S4HANA to GTS. The SAP standard configurations are available, templates are available. We can enable and we can do this one. But normally, in my most of the projects, currently S4HANA, GTS is interacting with the S4HANA only for what we call sales orders and purchasing. Sometimes only TM is in between. EWM is not very much because still SAP is releasing a nodes with there are OSS nodes still releasing while you are interacting with the EWM, because most of the times when the handling unit times, right, they'll not do the PGI because it stuck in GTS because of a lot of data. Then we go to SAP and they will release a node. So we have a lot of issues, but is EWM to GTS, it is not yet stabilized by SAP itself, not from our side. So SAP TM and SAP S4HANA, it is very much stabilized. So based on if your project, if you have a TM also, I will explain complete TM processes with SAP GTS. How does it works? I will explain that process also.
Okay, Ahmed, one question.
Yes,
How
please.
this GTS will be connected to S4HANA? Again, there will be some.
Okay. So that means I didn't explain the basic settings. Okay, I'll go back to my basic settings.
Any flow chart or flow diagram?
I will share the flow chart and flow diagram. So I told you, right, it is there in my company laptop, but unfortunately I didn't not able to bring it in my personal laptop. But I will definitely, after this meeting, I will share this one. S4 HANA to GTS. Okay, communication setup. Okay, so S4 HANA to GTS, there is RFC user which communicates and transfer the data from S4 HANA to GTS. First we'll create a RFC user, and this RFC user will communicate with the assigned to logical system. RFC user to logical systems. With here the logical system is your GTS system.
Right.
Okay. Third is for the after logical system, right? You need to also assign BAPIs. Okay, these are the basic settings. So here we will assign there are one or two BAPIs only. One is a transfer the document, second one is a BAPIs and message types. Okay, so there are a master data message types, okay, like a banks, customer, vendor, contact person, and HR employees. These are message types which are available in standard. We'll assign. That means you are enable the communication setup to interact with the GTS. And the last one but not least, change pointers. Change pointer for this, but for change pointer is a bit like it's a concept. What are the uh, field? If there is any changes in these fields, then only it triggered to GTS. Otherwise, it will not. For example, like a material master, if you change the description of the product, then it will go to GTS. If you change the UOM, then it will go to GTS. Similarly, you can restrict. Okay, in BD52, if you put any field in BD52 transaction, those only transfer to GTS. Otherwise, it will not transfer to GTS. Okay, change pointers also different good concept. I will explain in details of a change pointer. Okay, this is communication setup. Then final is your GTS plugins. You need to set which sales order has to communicate with the GTS, which purchase order has to communicate with the GTS. That is called, we need to enable in GTS plugins which sales order, which delivery, which PO, which billing document has to communicate with the GTS. That is a plugins. That is called, okay, we have SDOA, SD0A. Oh my god. SD0A. I beg your pardon. 0A. SD0B. SD0A for sales order, SD0B for deliveries, SD0C for a billing document, MM01 for purchase orders, MM0 0B for inbound deliveries, MM0P for movement types. So these many we have in plugins, we need to enable those things. Then only your basic settings will completed. The communication setup from the GTS S4 to GTS.
So it
Okay.
is the doc type and your item categories for O2, like SD thing, right?
In GTS plugins, we have only document types only. In configuration of GTS, we need to assign document types, item categories, and everything. In plugins, we have only document types.
Can we
Okay,
go
so
through the
uh,
syllabus, what we are going to actually cover, the topics?
okay, so the basic settings normally we'll cover the basic setting. Other if we don't cover this one, right, we'll not proceed. So we'll cover the basic settings, compliance management, and customs management. For customs management, import and export, both the process we'll cover. And risk management, I'm not sure we'll cover the preference processing or not. Okay, if time allows, I will cover the preference processing. Otherwise, I will give you the preference processing configuration with a simple example. But here we'll cover for a US or Germany settings, because US or Germany settings are already available. We'll create one US entity and German entity. We'll try to submit to custom authorities. How does it look like and what is the response we'll receive from the custom authorities? This is what we are going to do. But because our systems are not connected to custom authorities, we will run in simulation mode and you will get the response from the custom authorities and we can see how the custom response, you'll receive the custom response from the customs.
Sorry, Ahmed, but we are not covering anything under special customs, which is like FTZ and bonded warehouse, which is highly sorted out things when it
Yes,
comes
we
to
are not
GTS.
covering. So those are not like, those are very specific niche areas and we are not covering any special customs in our syllabus.
So Ahmed, in real time, as a part of say implementation project,
Mhm.
uh, what did you saw in your previous experience? Because
Okay,
I generally
okay.
implement
So
only
yeah,
point number
I
one
was
and two.
implemented for Novartis. I implemented for Merck Pharma. I was in when I was in Europe. I implemented
Okay.
Novartis, Merck Pharma, and SABIC, the chemical industry, and Aldo is in Canada. I see the most of the times they implement only till customs management. They don't
Okay.
even go for a risk management, even though they have a risk management. Okay, they only for a specific agreement they have implemented, not all the agreements. For example, like us, we have only two agreements, NAFTA and Japan. Okay, they have agreements with the two countries, but when you go to European Union, there are more than 50 agreements are exist for a US to Mexico, US to Korea, US to Japan, US to Singapore, US to Bangladesh, US to Pakistan. There are many agreements that exist, but they will go only specific agreements only they will implement, because if you do in if it is if there is anything goes wrong, right, then company has to pay a lot of fines. So this is the place where they need to take care of a lot of things. So that's why they don't go for a implementation of a preference processing. If you have a normally they will go with the only few. If they do the transaction, for example, if you are doing transaction with the Singapore, you have a transaction level volume is very high, then they will go. If a transaction volume is very low, that means you are not necessary to implement processing for those.
Okay. One more question on this
Mm.
E4H. So you said that E4H is purely on Fiori app, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to do the configuration in GUI or the configuration will be in Fiori app?
Configuration is uh, uh, it's GUI, full GUI.
Okay. Only transaction will be in the Fiori app.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Uh, Dhanu, Sachin, Shiva, Yogesh, any doubts, please?
No, I think we are good. I'm good.
Yogesh. Okay, I think Swapnil, you're also good.
I'm little no. So be frank with you.
Mm,
Yeah, you are expert, no doubt, but still, I'm expecting little bit more from this training. So, like as you know, right,
mm,
we are skipping that special processes under the customs management, and even you're not giving me a surety of the preference thing. You're saying if time permits. So I don't know what is your time limitation on this, or are you going to wrap it up 1 month, 2 month kind of thing?
mhm.
But that is the thing, because like even though you are saying companies don't implement, companies do implement, and SABIC do have bonded warehouse. I have worked with SABIC.
Mm. I don't know, but
HANA,
Swapnil,
HANA Plus is their global
okay,
template. So
yeah, I'm still with the Savic. Okay, it's not there. Okay, fine, Swapnil. That's not an issue, but these things are covered. Okay, so yes, Sachin, you're saying something? Okay, if you don't have any questions, so please share your feedback to Naveen and we'll connect.
Ahmed,
Yes,
before
please.
you go, so what is the timeline? How many classes you will cover everything? So what you explained?
My timelines is 45 days to 2 months, the overall.
Okay,
Okay,
and it will
we'll
be
go
like
each and every point.
weekend classes or weekdays classes?
The how do you feel? Because weekends I'll be not available. I'll go out. Weekdays is preferred.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that is okay. Yeah, I just want to know what is the preference, means
Mhm.
what is your plan?
Okay.
Yeah. So even if we do, so how many days in a week? 2 days or one class or two classes?
I wanted to plan minimum 4 classes in week.
Okay, so Monday to
Because
Thursday.
yes, Monday to Thursday. So I'll go means uh, it is not like a hurry burry kind of a thing. We'll go one by
Correct.
one, and once we covered completely, then we'll go to next module. In
Okay, so
compliance itself, SPL, right? It takes a lot of days because to understand the algorithm, and when you go to client or when you find any bug in your existing, then
mhm,
you can independently handle it. So that kind of a training I will give
correct.
you, not only in compliance management, in customs management also you can.
So it will be minimum like 11 to 12 weeks,
Yes, right.
4 days. If you, even if you consider Monday to Thursday, so 44 days to 11 weeks,
Mhm.
right?
That's why I'll take a 2 months max, either 4 days or 5 days. We'll finish up in 2 months.
2 months. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Then I will talk with Naveen on that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.